This is Calvin Castine. We've just been told this is the 12th year of garden tractor pulls. We did a couple of these years ago and found out we'd rather be out home with our family on Labor Day weekend. But this year we were asked specifically by the Citizen of the Year, Jack Dragoon, to tape this, so we're going to do it. We're going to give you a quick look at the underwriters of this event. We would have taken time to read all these, except that we had a little trouble with our camera moments ago, and that kind of put us behind here. So these are the people who are supporting this event. We're at the Mooers Fire Department Labor Day weekend field day. That was a test pull. She can take it or leave it. If she had a good pull, she could take it, but chances are she'll want to come back. A lot of people obviously find this exciting. I'm not one of them, but there are things that I find exciting that other people don't. So it all balances out. We'll try to get on the level here. And this is the garden tractor and ATV pull. We kind of got going in route here. I don't know if we properly introduced this, what we're doing here. Fans are still packing in. We're hoping to be kind of isolated here, but I guess that's not going to be the case. There's our second puller. He's going to have a full pull if he keeps coming. Pretty close. Pretty close to the 90-foot mark. It's a 900-pound class. I would imagine that that's the tractor without the driver. All right, that was 87 feet and 11 inches. Here comes the next one. And he's not going to come anywhere near 87 feet. He's trying to push it by hand here, or by foot. Should have some pedals on there. Unfortunately, cannot quite hear Connie Menard, so we can't tell you who's out there at a given time. All right, this is our test puller. She's ready to go. Whoop. Believe it or not, it's her first pull. Would you believe that? I don't think she's mowed the lawn too many times either. That's it. Shake it. Shake it. All 42 pounds. It's got to be the tractor. She'll be back. She'll be back next year. She'll be 10 pounds heavier, and the tractor will have a couple of headlights. She'll be back next year. Don't give up on this girl. This event started just actually a few minutes before 1, which is good for us. But we have the karaoke contest coming up at 2, so we'll stay here to as close to 2 as we can.
Our next class is going to be the 1,000-pound super stock. At this time, I'd like the 1,000-pound super stock line up.
Wait a minute here. He got just a little over 100 feet. be a full pull. This little cart on the top, as you go down the track, it goes up that ramp, and the load gets heavier. It puts more and more pressure on the little stone boat here. So as you go down the track, your load gets heavier. That's why it's a full pull, so they don't have to measure it. That's why they start to slow down as the load gets heavier. There's the next puller. There's the next puller. This is the 900-pound class. Next up will be the 1,000-pound class. And he will not have a full pull. He is close to 80.
Experienced driver. Try to keep everything the same as far as the boat and the track and everything. The tractor and the driver. Setup of the tractor.
There's the next puller. Looks like another veteran. He said, "All right, kid, this is ahead. The other one is back." So.
Just in the valley, and more important than
Whoop! Whoop! Gonna give her some gas. Was I supposed to give her more gas, Dad? He forgot to give her gas. She just stalled. She was going good. She just stopped. Forgot about giving it gas to make it go faster and pull harder. But he'll know better next time.
Thank you, Justin. We hope we'll see you again.
Mow your lawn next summer, then you'll be all set for this next year. They got the big machines, the ATVs coming up, but I don't know if we'll be here long enough to get them. The next completes that category. Next category is 1,000-pound super stock. I don't think we'll be here long enough to get the four-wheelers. Looks like Dan Dragoon's going to be the test puller.
Are old veterans of the Mooers Labor Day four-wheel drive.
All right, should be ready to come any moment now. Lots of fans here enjoying the pull. Some seated in the sun over here by us, others in the shade across the way. See if they'll count that or if they'll reset it. A full pull. So the test pull, they may have to reset it and put a little more weight on it. I'm gonna. It's a full pull. They can put more weight in the bucket. So we'll see what they'll do. I think they're gonna go with what they got. We got busy talking here with Donnie Hicks got it behind the wheel. And look out, he's gonna flip that over. He's not giving up. Get out and jump on the hood, Don. Todd says that's it, you're gonna flip. Almost 90. If he got out and jumped on the hood, he would have made it. That was 88 feet and 3 inches. Here's one of the Bigelows. Past the 70-foot mark. past the 80, up to the 90. And he's getting close to a full pull. Did it. He did it. Full pull. Sometimes we hear who's pulling, sometimes we don't. When we hear it, we'll pass it along to you. Taking a long route. It's still coming. It's still coming. Have a new Hicks family record here. I think he beat the 88 feet 3 inches. $87 feet 10 inches. Donnie Hicks family record still stands. Sounds like she said Westover here. ATV garden tractor pull. Watching the 1,000-pound super stock class. I've got the spectators standing in front of us. We've got the burly workers standing in front of us. Put some air in that back tire. Still crawling, still creeping along. He's in a soft rut though. If he had the area with the better traction, might have better luck, but he's right where everybody else has already dug it up. Still creeping along. And he's still coming. Looks like we might have a full pull. The box is up to its max. Not going to get any heavier. And we got us a full pull. About that. And the crowd is going wild, as you can understand. The crowd is just going wild over that pole. There's our next puller. She's dying, she is. Needed some air. Just conked out. And that International is being pushed off the track. Gave it everything it had. It was just about 50 feet.
That was Erwin Danforth. Erwin's got a brand new machine this year, it looks like. Last year he had something else that he had built and
Martell is up next. That was Danforth who just finished. They waste little time. They keep this rolling pretty good. The first couple years we were here, it took a long time between pullers, and it really stretched it out. But this is really improved. It's been quite a while since we've taped any of these. So it's not as boring as it has been before. In fact, it's pretty interesting so far. Needs more weight in that front end. You had to stop. You needed a little more weight in that front end. Looks like the one that was pulled in the 900 class. I don't know if they weigh these. Hey, Baba. I don't know if they weigh these first.
I'm out of weight class though. I'm only two-wheel drive.
Alright. But that last one with Kyle Hicks. Look at this guy, he's burning up the track. Or the tractor, one or the other. And he gets himself a full pull. I got 4 in the pull-off. Alright, here's our pull-off. Hopefully got a little more weight in that bucket. Little box back there and a stone boat. Dan Dragoon. Full bowl. For Dan Dragoon.
Yeah, I was a village cop from St. Alexandria Bay. It wasn't a state.
There we go, our next puller. Bigelow, I believe. Look out, look out. I don't want to be around when somebody flips one of these things. Quite. About 98, 97 to 98 feet. Westover up next. That was a 97 feet 3-inch pull. Super in there. That's it. He's gone about 70 feet, just under 70, I believe.
Third place so far on the pole.
69 feet, 1 inch.
It's going to be Kyle Hicks.
Kyle Hicks. Smoking up the track.
I'm sorry, Kyle Snide.
Kyle Snide, there we go. He's the one that messed me up. Kyle Snide. And he's just gonna come so close. This is so close. And the judges say it's a full pole. Mark Dragoon says, I don't care if Dan's my brother, that was a full pole. Wayne says, I want to recount.
Kyle Snide. Second place.
They're putting the weight on.
Bigelow for 97 feet 3 inches. Actually, he'll get 30.
Well, Dan Dragoon ready to go. Hopefully we'll be able to get to the next class here. We got the karaoke coming up at 2. It's 1:35 right now. And when I leave here, I've got a couple of soccer games to do at Northeastern. There's Dan Dragoon. No full pull this time. He's you notice they mark right in the middle where the chain is. That bolt sometimes gets twisted, not the end that went the furthest, right where the chain is. That's going to be about 87 feet.
Take a buck shot.
There's the official measurement.
Our next class is going to be the 1,000-pound ATV 4-wheel drive up to 500 cc, and I'd like to ask those who are registered.
All right, 87 feet, 8 inches.
What's wrong with that?
Kyle Snide, who was introduced twice as Kyle Hicks. Killing mosquitoes, killing weeds, and pulling in the pulling contest. He didn't do it. They got around 81 or so. Young Mr. Snide will finish second. Young Mr. Dragoon is number 1. That's some smaller ATVs coming up. So we'll be getting a few of those before we have to skedaddle. Snide's pull was 82 feet. Adam Menard up for this is 500cc ATVs.
Four-wheeler that's called Adam Four-wheeler.
He's a test puller. He can take it or come back. About 85 feet, 86. What's he gonna do? Decisions, decisions.
We have to see what his official measurement is going to be, and then he has to decide whether he's going to take it or re-pull.
83 feet, 11 inches was the pull. Here's Dan Dragoon back on a ATV. And Menard took that pull. Nope, it will not be a full pull. It's going to be about 98 feet. So no full pull that time. But pretty close.
There are 98 feet, 6 inches. Dan Dragoon, he's our first place.
98.6 for Dragoon. Here's Andrew Badger. Father gives him the thumbs up. And he's off. Oh, he said, no, I don't want to gun it again. So he's going to get about 70 feet. Got a cheering section across the way here. And cheering section right in front of us too.
It's pretty thick.
In the 1,200-pound class.
Alright, here's our next puller. We'll get a name, we'll tell you. Coming along good, whoever he is. He's going to be pretty close to Dragoon.
90 plus. We'll get a measurement in a minute. Our last puller will be
dusty out here.
Oh, you got a late entry so far by Dan Drago.
96 feet 7 inches, so he's in second place.
Fourth, we have two more pullers, Wendy McNeil and Scott Richter.
McNeil next. There he comes. And he got about 81 or 82 feet. .500 cc's.
Our next class is going to be the 1100 down ATV four-wheel drive over 500 cc. We'd like to add those drives not mixture. I don't get it. We're going to be driving slow right now.
82 feet 9 inches. Didn't quite make out the last name of this fellow. Again, we have karaoke coming up in about 10 minutes. As I'm taping this, not sure when you're going to see it, but there's not much more of this that we can do. We have to try to cover the karaoke. We got much of this as we could.
Take last place.
We're waiting for Scott's measurements. We're going to ask you to recognize Riley Ford and Joy Van Lee and Lauren Roberts in the front today.
Andrew,
Class.
Just a tad over 70 feet.
Our first place winner on this is going to be Dan Drago. Second place, Scott Lennon. The profits will be donated to Make a Wish. For more information on that, please call 643-0364.
We'll get a little bit of this next category, this next class, and that'll be it. This is viewer-supported local television. We've been taping soccer games at Northeastern Clinton all week long at night, and then on Saturday we did the alumni games and first game of the season for the Shazy boys team, Shazy alumni women's and men's. So we're at Shazy for 3 games. That was Saturday. Sunday we were in Port Henry for the parade honoring Johnny Padres. We were here this morning starting for in time for the 11 o'clock parade. We're trying to tape as much as we can of this garden tractor ATV pull. We'll be going from here just a few feet away to get to karaoke. And we may or may not get all the karaoke, depending how long it takes, because at 4 o'clock we've got to be at Northeastern Clinton for the consolation and championship games of the Pizza Hut Classic soccer tournament. So viewer support is what keeps us going, and when the weekends are like this, and there's a whole lot of them that are just like this, it really makes us wish that we had a few more of you out there supporting our efforts. Took a little while to get the weights on, and many of the ATVs that we've seen in the earlier class are going to be in this one. They just put a little weight on the front, and they're able to 500 cc is 500 cc, and they can just compete in another category as long as they got the weight and no more weight than they're supposed to have. Here's a test pull. Okay, I think they're going to put a little more weight in there and try that test pull again. We're not going to have time for much more than the test pull here. We've got to get going. It's closing in on 2 p.m. and the karaoke is going to start with or without us. Just a hair over 90 feet, and he'll have a choice to take it or leave it. looks like he's going to take it. And are they going to do it? No, they're going to put more weight on and have another test pull, but we just can't stick around any longer. It's about 3 minutes before 2. We've got to get over to the karaoke. So this is it from the ATV garden tractor pull. Thanks for watching, and for those of you supporting viewer-supported local television, Hometown Cable. We've been taping people since that girl there was just a youngster. So thanks for watching, and for those of you supporting our efforts.
Looks like the boat works.
We've had in years past, we had I think 70 both years, and this year we're over 100. Not all of them are playing, but they're here, and that's all we were hoping for.
It's almost too many players to have a game here.
Yeah, we are glad that a few in some ways to make it easy for us to, we're going to watch instead of play, but both teams have, about 15 each for each age group, so it's almost perfect. So it works out well. The goalies, though, Blair Villamere there, he graduated in 1987, I believe, and on the other end we had to bring in a younger guy because we only had one other goalie, Terry Lapierre, who graduated in 97.
Yeah, Blair would be 87 or 88 even.
Yeah. It was nice too. A couple classes, I believe the class of 85 and the class of 80, I believe, found out when the alumni game was, and they decided to work their own class reunion around this day. So that's worked out well, and it's been nice to have all these people here.
You picked a day with beautiful weather?
Yeah, we were just, last night we had some rain, and it almost was perfect for the field, and the rain we had on Wednesday, the big torrential downpour we had on Wednesday, was I'm glad that Hurricane, was it Katrina, right?
Yep.
Came through here earlier than we were worried when we saw it off the coast that it was going to come on Saturday.
It came and went. And the lights are on. Not for the first time, but for the first time in a real game. Is the clock going to be here this year, or is that going to be a next year's project?
A scoreboard is coming in probably the end of September, early October, and we're going to have it all prepared, the poles all prepared, electricity all prepared for the scoreboard when it gets here. So as soon as it comes in, we're going to put it right up. So we hope to get it end of September, early October. Also, we have planned for next year. We wanted to have it this year, just things didn't work out. That next year we're going to have a concession stand and bathrooms, a brick building built as we're facing left of the bleachers. And we hope in the near future, a year or two, we plan on making what is directly behind us a parking lot for people. As of right now, we're going to have handicap parking available on that end, but until we get the gravel down and all that stuff, it's just going to be handicap. But we hope in a year or two to have it paved and a nice parking lot over there.
And the men's room will be the Tom Tregan room, and the Judy Bayshard will have the ladies' room. Is that how it's going to work?
Yeah, we're going to put plaques up in there, and some pictures of them, and so it'll be really nice. And
and you'll have the concession stand named after you.
That's right. I'll have the concession stand. The hot dogs will be dedicated to me.
John McAuliffe hot dogs.
That's right. But for now, we're going to.
Rob McAuliffe.
For now, we're going with porta potties, and the Lions Club has been nice enough to let us use their little trailer that we have over there, and it does the job for us, and people seem to be happy with it. So far, so good. Right now, we're just concerned with the gray team. If you can see Tim Martin there in the red shorts, he may get a red card, anytime soon. So keep an eye on him.
That would be his first ever, though, right?
Yes, usually a very well-behaved player, never any really problems. I played at Oneonta with Tim in college and well in high school. I was a senior, he was a freshman, and then when I went to college and became a senior at Oneonta, he was there as a freshman. We see Kevin Ryan, who's out there as well, plays for Plattsburgh State, for Plattsburgh State today, I believe, and then hustled out of the game and got here. I'm not sure if Chris Waterbury knows that
He's risking his life.
that Kevin's here. Yeah. I believe it's 2-0 even years, right?
I don't know.
I think it's 2-0 even years. I'm on the even team, so we'll go with that.
What's that, 90?
I'm a 90, yes.
90. All right. Just barely making the 90s. I see Tim Collins shaved his head for today.
Yep, so you may have to avert your camera on occasion to the glare from the top of his head may be difficult on your camera, but there is Dan Racine with the ball in green. I'd like to mention him. Has spent over a year he's in the Army, was in Afghanistan for over a year, and the military brought him home for a while, and he's been in Kentucky for a while, and they gave him a week off before they are sending him to somewhere. He's not supposed to tell anybody where, but you can kind of figure where he's probably going. And he decided to take this week so he could be at this game today. So just proud of him as a person as well too, and what he does for our country and all that, and all other alumnus who do that. But Danny, that he took the time out to spend it here is just nice.
Okay, I couldn't quite make out what the name was when you mentioned that part.
Oh, that's Dan Racine.
Yeah, I heard it this time, but not when you were doing the initial announcing.
Yeah. And there is Kevin Ryan, starts for Plattsburgh State. Here's Chris DeMars on the ball. Chris was one of the guys who, as I said, works for Murnane and was kind of in charge of the engineering part of this field. So if there's anything wrong with it, please
he knows
contact Chris at 84. That's right.
Is Tremblay here with the hair?
Yes.
I don't think he's got a haircut since he graduated. Or shaved.
Yeah, Chris played for me a few years back, and I think you're right. I think he grows his power from his hair, possibly. Aaron Lauren, who just played the ball there in the back, I'd like to mention him. Aaron went to Paul Smith's and graduated from Paul Smith's, and when he was at Paul Smith's, he went in for forestry, and behind the goal over here that's being shot at right now, there is all the trees. Tim Martin, everybody. And Aaron Lauren cut down all those trees that were just grown over. As you know, we had to clear some of this, and sure enough, all the trees grew to the sun, and so we had to have Aaron, and Aaron you can see some of the cuts he made way up on top of the trees there, and he was up on cables and all this other stuff, so he probably came out here 6-7 nights after work and worked till dark, and so I appreciate what he did.
Did a nice job. Tom and George got so jealous seeing you up here that they had to come up too.
Whenever there's a microphone around, obviously Tom Tregan is somewhere close by.
Well, I don't know. It looked like it was hard to get it away from George for a while.
Well, I'll let Tom comment on that.
Are you going to take a shift out there, Rob?
I'll take a shift. I'll let George and Tom take a shift up here.
All right. George Brendler and Tom Tregan together. Boy, what an honor this is to be in the same room as these two guys.
You ask us questions. I think Tom is up.
Questions? All right. What's the square root of 306?
It is 12.862.
I find that difficult because the square root of 144 is 12, so it'd be a lot more than that.
Well, we're using the Canadian system.
But Tom said that, we could answer questions a lot easier than, of course, I can go on and talk, but people get tired of hearing you, so there might be some pertinent questions that you might have.
Who's the best player out there?
Woo! You're trying to get us in trouble. Tom, do you have any best players you remember?
They're all the same.
What year did you retire, George?
89. Actually, my last coaching season was 88. So when I talk about the soccer teams, I always talk about them in the fall of the year rather than the graduation year. So it was 89. Seems a long time ago.
And Tom, you were your coach for 7 years?
Yes, 1989, and the last year was 1995.
And then we had Rob take over, and it's hard to believe. Here we go. Nice stop. Wow.
About 10 years?
I think this will be his
This is his 10th season. Yeah, it's hard to believe. That I was saying that there's the tradition here, the 50 years of soccer, and I felt pretty good about having been a major part of it. But you begin to look around and say, geez, between Tom and Robbie, they almost got half of that time. I'm fading into the distant past.
Tom, you have any questions for George?
George and I have had an opportunity to talk much
Why don't
soccer.
you guys hold this microphone so I can run this camera here? There we go. Thank you. That was a question.
George, you always had a strong commitment to sportsmanship. Would you like to discuss that a bit?
Good point, Tom. I think that probably would be, I did mention that in the little commentary I made, which kind of drew out longer than I wanted, but that's one of the things I probably am most proud of, believe it or not. At the end of my tenure, the soccer officials named a sportsmanship trophy that they'd been handing out to one of the best teams, one of the most sportsmanlike teams in not the section, but in this area, in their district, or whatever you want to call them, that the coaches, the referees have. But to be named after me, a sportsmanship trophy, that really made me feel very good, because I thought I worked at trying to develop players that would keep in mind that game is about sportsmanship, that there's something beyond the game on the field where you're trying to put out your best effort, but at least be gentlemen about it. And sometimes I think people actually maybe were somewhat critical of me on that, but I think in the long run it was for the best that then I'm remembered for it. So I'm very glad. Sportsmanship is probably so difficult now to teach with what you see on TV. Not on Calvin's TV, right? But you don't have the background of the crowds at these games that you take, Calvin. But we do see an awful lot on TV, very close up in front, where we'd rather not see it. Plus the players themselves. We're trying to teach players, and I'm sure Rob feels the same way. Teach players that you can play hard and be still a sportsman.
Now, one of the things I'm glad about with this booth here, and of course it's been that way right from the start at Shazy, is away from the crowd, because sometimes the fans aren't quite the sportsmen that you'd like them to be. And I'd rather not hear what they're saying.
Well, I think, Tom, you probably agree with me. I always tried to keep the bench on the opposite side from the spectators. For one thing, it kept the team away, and they didn't hear the background noise, and it gave me a chance to talk to them kind of about tactics. But the other one was to not have that